cause my father did. Mom's bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head. I could wait for your response, but they let her hear me talk, so I just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them haters.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Exposed Radio.
Well, if you made them, take care of them.
Yeah, that's
period.
Real.
You right.
That's the real deal.
It's period.
You right.
And all that old money shouldn't go toward this. Money should go to if the child is with one of the parents 24/7, 7 days a week. You don't even come get your child every day. You come get your child once a month maybe, or once every 3 months.
Right.
You cannot dictate where that money goes, especially if the child ain't calling you about nothing. Now, if the child calling you every week, then you can question about where the child support is going. But if every time you pick up the child, they look nice, they ain't complaining about nothing, why are you worrying about where the money go at?
It is what it is. Radio show.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Nigga, chose by another nigga, bitch. Damn, this chopper got 50 round clip. So this Molly and the syrup got me geeking, shorty. Ain't know I popped them Xannies, had them sleeping on me. Love in a hood full of hate. Pray to God that he open up them gates. Rest in peace to Freddie Gray and Lil Scooter. Putting on for our city, watch his door.
Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go. City, got my mind strong, take a time bomb. Fuck a pot, I'd rather pack the kitty. I don't want the city, don't call me Diddy. Yeah, I rap my city, way to show them something they ain't ready for. Make a voice firm so you can't ignore it. Talking shit like I'm fixing toilets. Shaggy rhythm, I can see me torn. Torn cuffs, shades on, shirt off, strapped up, Molly down, blowing strong, riding around. The demonstration hold 50 rounds, I'm a fool with it. Got ratchet niggas that's cool with it. You got a cold heart till that ooh hit it. Stop fucking with me, got my mind set, see my mind state is at a high rate. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy, busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait. Mom, what?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right.
They were going into that National Series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
how much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the margin of victory, kind of.
Right.
So when you're in a negative number, that means that you're.
Then your average game you're losing
by a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, a number like negative 65, this early in the season is pretty rough.
That's horrible.
Then the pitching numbers pretty much support this stat right here. I mean, the team ERA is 4.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate. I'm here. We have a special guest today. This is Friday, so this is a part of our entrepreneur series and helping artists to be more grounded, more professional, more business-minded. We got the left. Miss C. Natasha Richburg is joining us as our guest co-host. This is episode number 4 in a 6-week series of just jewels that we're dropping. Miss Richburg is a manager, and she's been in the business for a number of years. Is supportive artist, managing artist, PR, all those different things. And she's just dropping some of the information that she has to give with us all. We have a couple special guests, but I'm going to let Ms. Richburg actually introduce them. So it's on you, Ms. Richburg.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here because we're talking about balancing family and being an artist. And so I had to do something that was very selfish and self-centered of me. I wanted my family here. So I asked my cousin, Keisha Gladden, to come, and we're going to talk more about what she's got going on. And I asked my friend, manager, artist extraordinaire, come to be in this panel. Now let's go to Keisha. Mother, of 3 children, beautiful children, who are very articulate, very academic, exceeding beyond all odds. You are a superwoman with a cape.
Thank you.
So tell the audience about your children and some of their activities, starting from your oldest daughter finishing college to your twin sons now.
Okay, so my oldest daughter, her name is Brianna. She's actually turning 26 this year. So she finished her undergrad degree in business at the University of Baltimore. Currently working for one of a very large insurance company, I will say. Pretty much she is wanting to be an entrepreneur as well. So, you know, trying to support her in her efforts. I also have a set of identical twin, mirror image twin boys. Their names are Kiana Dion, attending Cristo Rey Jesuit High School. The twins are pretty much they're into a lot. They are outside of school. They play squash for Baltimore Squash Wives.
Yeah.
Again, they are very great kids. They are 3.5 and 4.0 GPAs at Cristo Rey for junior year.
Yes.
My oldest twin, Keon, is a part of the step, their step team, as well as still balancing squash. Dion actually helps he helped form the GSA program at CRJ, as well as on choir, prom committee, and things of that nature. So pretty much for the most part, they stay busy, especially with Squash Wives, because this is a group that has them going bouncing state to state. And Dion most recently has been accepted to go to study abroad, British studies in the UK this summer.
And tell our audience what degrees you got while you had these children.
So having 3 children, and I've been a single mother. I did obtain my associate's degree from BCCC. I then went to UB and finished my undergrad degree from UB in business. I then ventured to do grad, and I ended up getting my MBA certification with UB in Towson, and then I went back and ended up getting my master's in nonprofit management from the University of Baltimore.
And you don't sleep?
No. Not at all.
And before we get into more detail, Takia Mayo, tell us about what you do first, what you do family-wise, how many children you have, and what they do.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'm a former software engineer.
Yeah.
I am currently an actress.
Yes.
A manager.
Working actress.
Working actress, yes.
Yes.
A co-manager for my daughter, or our daughter. My husband and I co-manage our daughter, our oldest daughter, Deanna South. I am the mother of 4 children. So I manage the schedules of my husband, myself, and
your husband is an actor.
He's an actor.
Working.
As well. A working actor. Yes.
Okay, excuse me.
And all 4 of our children are working actors.
Working.
Yes. As
bringing
well.
in the bag.
Yes.
And I homeschool.
I homeschool. Yes. As well. So now I have 2 that I'm homeschooling, whereas before I used to homeschool 3. So now I'm doing 2. The age ranges are. My oldest is 24. She goes by the name of Deanna Stout. She is a working actress. She's a hip hop artist. She's a singer, songwriter, and rapper.
Excellent.
And she's the leader of the 4. So it started with her. She's also an entrepreneur, business owner as well. Our second son, Jarrell, he's also an actor. He's an entrepreneur, a business owner as well. An actor, as I said before. Elijah, he's an actor, doing well. And then we have Aaliyah, she's also an actress.
And how old is Aaliyah?
So Jarrell is 19. Right. So, okay, let me start over. Deanna's 24, Jarrell's 19, Elijah is 16, and Aaliyah is 7.
And a working actress.
And a working actress.
Yes. And I wanted to bring these women here because being a mother of 4, and at one point in my family life, I had 4 teenagers, full-time job, working on my master's, and I know what it means to balance it all. And now I have a husband going on 37 years, 36 years. I know what it means to balance it all. And this conversation is about giving our audience some clues about how we do it. Keisha, give us a clue, girl. How do you do it on a day when you are off on your off day? You gotta take somebody to the orthodontist. You gotta go back and do other things. Just tell us about a good day. How do you do it?
I really don't know how I do it. I will just honestly say it's the grace of God.
Yes.
Being a mother is just a sacrifice. Parenting is truly a sacrifice. So I was mentioning earlier, I had one twin, and again, the twins go to the same school. So one twin would have STEP Monday through Saturday. So I would come to the school and pick up one twin. And then when the second twin is finished his activities that typically ends at 4:30, I would then leave. I tried to fit in the market or errands in between, and then return back to the school at 7 to pick up the other twin. And so a lot of times our day doesn't end, sometimes 7:30, 8 o'clock at least each night. So that's during the weekday. Sometimes if in fact the other twin, like I said, and it varies, it goes day to day. So it could be a day if there's squash practice. So one twin may, like I said, may miss because he's at step practice. Have to take the other twin to Squash Wise, which is a metal mill, and then it's like you're sitting there, you're waiting. So I spend a lot of time in my car. My car is like my second home. Sometimes I am working remotely in my car. I just try to fit in everything with every piece of free time there is. Literally, it's not wasted time. I have to take advantage of it. So, you know, I try not to complain, and honestly, because of just how things are right now, I am just worried. My sons, I'm gonna be honest, I transport them everywhere.
Right.
I do. I transport them everywhere. And the cost of insurance is very expensive to add them on, so that's a different topic. But for the most part, it's just me. And sometimes my daughter is able to help, but based on her, you know, depending on her work schedule, sometimes she's able to pick them up if I'm in a meeting that ran late, or what have you. So, like I said, it just varies. It varies day to day. If there's a show, there's matches. It depends on where they are. If it's in town, out of state, it just all depends. So it's every day. And so that part of, people ask, can you want to go and do this? Honestly, I don't have that kind of time. I have to look to see if I'm available to do things with them because I'm so dedicated to the kids.
You work your schedule.
Yeah.
You have a schedule that you live by. Yeah. I want you to talk about a day where you homeschool. Somebody has to be on set. You got a 10 o'clock meeting for music, and you got to fit in 2 hours to sleep. Tell us about one of those days. And then you get a call to take to somebody to something that they got the part for that didn't know they were going to get, and you got to do that first thing in the morning and look cute.
Yeah.
Well, so tell us how that works.
Yeah, like Keisha, it works by the grace of God. Okay. Unlike Keisha, I do have a support. I have my husband though, and there are times when he can take leave, and there are times when he cannot take leave. When he cannot, I find myself either dropping him off. Deanna, our oldest daughter, she jumps in from time to time. I've had times whereas my son Elijah, he was a part of, he had a job with the theater.
Okay.
And he also had a commercial, like later that day, as well as I had to go to studio for Deanna and her music, and then I'm homeschooling still. So in between theater, homeschooling is very flexible. So I can homeschool him there. In the green room or in his dressing room, or also I use Abeka's, and with our curriculum you can do it online.
Oh, okay.
So with the kids, Deanna can also help me out with Aaliyah, and I oversee that as well. FaceTime's amazing. All while trying not to put the burden on my husband, who is he's still at his job right now. The goal is to retire him soon.
Right.
But squeezing in time. Did you say squeezing in time for myself?
Yeah, two. I was hoping you could find two. Look, I know.
So my day doesn't typically end. I wish it could end at 7. So sometimes I'm on the phone until about 10 or 11 at night. Our meetings end, and my husband is there too, and he gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm even booking him for auditions, and I'm doing videos, self takes, while I'm either at the spot or either in between, or I'll stop and pull over on the side of the road and say, hey, you know, the acting manager who I assist the children with, she needs a video or something, or I need to send them over a current snapshot of what you look like today. And make sure all of them are always dressed for success or dressed to impress, including myself, just in case we get that call to see what we look like today.
Right.
Or if I need to just divert and come to Baltimore. And audition real quick, because sometimes I don't get my lines on time.
Right.
And with technology. So and so we're all balancing, and as far as squeezing time with myself, like she said, I have to schedule that. And sometimes I make time, and you help me as far as because I have my planner now, and because putting it on my phone just doesn't work for me. I have to write it down and see it, and so you help me with that idea, and so it's been amazing, by the way. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
And I with that, I even schedule my time, and I got to get disciplined in that, because I'm so used to moving, and sometimes we get lost.
Right. One of the advocates I am of anybody who has a family that's doing this is to at least start with a 30-day calendar where you put everything that you have to do and every place you have to go. But in there, you got to find at least an hour or two for yourself in that month. I don't care if you got to pull it out in 15 minutes increments, because that's how I made it. That's how I made it with 4 children, full-time job, teaching at UMBC, and working on my doctorate degree, all at the same time, knowing I was going to have that hour in the tub. Made everything happen with bubbles. If was no bubbles, it was on. We had to have bubbles, because bubbles made me get it. A calendar and a bubble. And just like Takia, the phone is fine, but the paper, I have my journal with me now, that hard copy to look at, to check it off, help me live. One of the things I want to talk about with you all, because we all walk around with our plan A's, but we got to have our B, C's, D's, E's, and F's. Talk about your plan, everything beyond your plan A for your family and your family business. And let's just do the music and the acting part of the business. What do you look as your next step as you grow in this? If it doesn't work the way you saw it working in the beginning, what's your next?
Well, I'll start with, I know it's going to work.
I know, yeah.
I know it's going to work, okay? It's going to work. You know, there's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, that's what
my next step would be to continue to mentor the children. I do have some other young people in the community that I mentor. My husband and I, we don't put that out there, because it's near and dear to our hearts to see our other young people successful.
Right.
And like, while some people use it as a platform for their character and to build their brand, I don't believe in that. Personally, I just believe in, if I'm going to make a difference in a young person's life, I'm going to be committed in his life for life.
Right.
So that's just our philosophy.
Right.
We hope to have a management company. Well, I don't want to say management company, more so artist development type. For young and upcoming artists, and as we're being mentored ourselves, like by people and professionals in the industry, successful professionals in the industry, it is our goal to one day, now is not that time, for the music component of it, On the acting component of it, I believe that I would love to somehow do workshops.
Oh yeah.
Help other mothers and fathers, single parents, to show them that there is a way, and there's more than enough resources out here for us all. So we don't have to look at one another as competition.
Right.
I am my own competition. I'm my own brand.
Right.
And that's what's very critical. I mean, it's the sky's the limit.
Right.
And so we have to be open-minded and understand that.
So you all, as you go up and you go into acting and into the music and acting, you're going to come back and help develop others in the business. So your plan B, I know you want to rest one day, but that day is coming.
That is true.
I'm praying for you, my sister. I know that day is coming. I'm going to send you some bubbles myself. Okay. So as you go, because I know with your sons doing so much now, and they're the center of everything, as you push them up and out, and I know in the name of Jesus, they're going to get scholarship offers all over the place. So what's your plan as they go up and get their scholarship offers all over the place?
As I said earlier, we're typically the plan of a plan of another plan. We typically say that in my house. But I will be honest, I don't think I haven't pretty much took time to figure out what it is I'm going to do once my children are off to college. Because right now, we're still trying to create those second and third plans if they don't get into the school of their choice.
Okay.
So that's where I'm currently focused, and it's very time consuming. Between the twins, as I said before, they're mirror image twins, total opposite of each other.
Really?
So although they look alike, one is left-handed, one is right-handed, it's just a total opposite. So one would love to go to attend a HBCU. That's just who he is. Where the other is, in his mind, the world is one big, he loves diversity. He loves, the world is one big melting pot.
Okay.
So they bump heads on a lot of issues, and it's always political issues, racial issues.
Really?
It's really, you would not think, but they are twins, and these are everyday conversations, honestly. And so that's where I am. So when you're saying about me right now, I will be honest, I have been employed nearly 2 decades, the same organization, and right now I will admit and say I'm comfortable. I would love to venture off and do other things, but right now it's just about my children. Right now I'm just so wrapped into making sure they're okay, because they don't have any other supports. And so once I can get them off, then I'll figure out what it is that Keisha needs to do for Keisha.
So you're waiting to exhale?
Yes, I'm in that stage. Currently, that's the stage I'm in right now. Yes.
So I'm going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with these awesome mothers, the women of artists and artists themselves. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
was the one for me. Ever since then, we been vibing on some chemistry. It's just a matter of time. I know she feeling my vibe. I got the keys to the ride. She put her hands on my thigh. She got that look in her eye. SL what I'm riding. Royalty, call me highness. All day and overnighted. Cause it's crunch time when I'm grinding. This Adderall got me nauseous. Proceed with caution. Tired of lanes, I'm exhausted. Poppin' Zanny Zan, sipping out the faucet. I'm confused, don't know what I'm doing. Wait, what I'm doing? Got me going where the I'm going. Out of space, where I'm going. Wait, where I'm going? Wait, where I'm going? Out of space, where I'm going. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. I'll be up in the way. I'll be up in the way. I'll be up in the way.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live. The Artist Exchange.
Welcome back. We are here live on the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live with your host, Mr. Towser. We got our guest co-host today, Ms. C. Natasha Richburg, and we have two phenomenal artists. Our women, our mothers, and everything else here with us today. We're talking about how can they do it? How do they make it happen? Where's the magic going? And I'll start with Ms. Richburg. Let's start back up.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. We're going to spend a little time in this segment really going into self-care. On a break, we talked about some of the things I do, and being a mother of four, I did forget to talk about not just the bubbles, but the Epsom salt. Majorly important. And another thing, the tea. I love tea, and I love participating in hot tea. That's the thing that brings peace to my soul, along with my Lord and Savior. But having that, and having that to look forward to, even once a year, help me make it through the troubled times, because teenagers don't think like other people at times, even though they think they do. And going through that and trying to keep a straight face all the time is difficult. And so that self-care, I know you're not all the way there yet. You're still waiting that exhale. But let's talk about self-care for you. Where are you in this phase of your life with that in regard to self-care?
So, you're gonna laugh, and I do fit it in. I have diva hours. I have to sleep, or else I'm a mean queen. It's the truth.
It's then she's a mean queen.
That's true.
Deanna, who's off the camera, going.
I need my beauty rest. So I do. If I don't get 8 to 10 hours at night, I get naps throughout the day. I love my naps. I do nap in between, whether I'm on set or not. But if the kids are in front of the camera, I'm typically there, making sure they're straight. But yeah, in between I get my naps. If my husband's driving, I'm napping. If Deanna's driving, I'm napping. If Jarrell is driving, I might take a nap. But I'm in between naps with him because I don't know about his driving alone. This is the boys driving. I take so I love my tea, like you said. I love my baths. I do my baths, bubble baths, or my Epsom salt. I also I go to the gym. I work out. That's how I do. I get at least an hour to two at the gym, even with the children. I make sure they do that as well, discipline, and I make sure that I take my vitamins, and I'm doing my Irish sea moss smoothies. Okay. So just to make sure we stay healthy. We're all healthy. My high vitamin C intake. So that's my regimen for me.
Okay, so Keith, I know you're waiting to exhale, but when you exhale, do you see yourself exhaling and just kind of laying around and chilling, or exhaling and taking some trips? How is your exhale going to be if you could dream it right now? Make it 10 now. Just make it 10.
It would be to travel.
Really?
Yes. I will admit, the last time I've even been on a plane without children, I actually was pregnant with my twins. The last time I flew to Vegas. So it's been that long, and it I guess I've done it so long I never sat and thought about it, but it recently was brought up and I was like, oh my goodness, yeah. I went to Vegas, was my last trip, and that trip is what put me into preterm labor. Because I shouldn't have flown. I was high risk pregnancy anyway, so yeah.
Oh my goodness, so waiting to exhale got you into trouble, and so that's why it's probably taking so long at this point. But let me just talk to you and talk to the people who are watching right now. One of the things when women do it all, they say we all do it all, and we do have people to support us. And sometimes people that support us aren't always our family. It's the people who are in charge of the STEP team and know you're going to come back on time. Sometimes it's the teacher that knows you're going to help with homework. You know, teachers like the parents they know that helps with homework and helps with doing in that part. Can you talk about support in that regard for you right now?
Well, Baltimore Squash Wise, and this is totally not a commercial for them, but I will admit that so what that group does is yes, it's based on the sport of squash.
Okay.
But they have coach mentors for the students. They have college counseling for the students. They take them on college tours.
Is this sponsored by the school?
No, it's not. It's a totally different entity.
Wait a minute, no commercial, but who runs it?
So they're their own organization. Actually, they came to KIPP where my boys formerly went in middle school.
Okay.
And to be honest, I had never heard of the sport.
I know, I played squash.
I never heard of the sport, and so the boys tried out and they made it, and they've been stuck with Squash Wise since 6th grade. So, and this group actually, it's a lot of opportunities. My sons have traveled a lot. They've been away to Taft, which is in Connecticut. They were gone for weeks at a time. So it's a lot. So that group as a whole, I'm very appreciative and thankful for all the coaches that put in the time to invest in the children, because half of the time that they're there is purely academics. Academics is part of the program, and the other half is the sport.
Another question.
Okay.
So did that cost you a fee or a small fee?
No. So the organization is free. Sometimes it depends on the travel. There may be a small parent contribution, and your yearly fees. The membership fee is like $50 a year. So it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all, but the majority of the funding, actually Squash Wise raises that funding for each one of those students. So it's middle schoolers and high schoolers that they help them through college. So it's college prep, SAT prep, actually helping. It's a lot of students that actually have gone and got scholarships through that program because they assisted the students. Yeah, and they still do. So it's like a to and through college situation. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I should have had my tissue.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know when you said it, I just neighborhood thing, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, that's really a big
So they balance with them. And then there are people that actually mentor my children that's at their high school as well. So the JA program, Junior Achievement Academy, my boys did that last year, and John Bussey is the director of the corporate internship program at CRJ, and so he is a mentor to my sons. You have there are teachers and counselors there at the school that it's not, like I said, I'm not trying to pitch it for the schools and the programs,
to understand.
But it does help because the parents are not there all the time, and so sometimes it helps when others who know what type of child you have and that can relate to them, and they just help along the way. So it does make my life much easier. It does the parenting easier.
And one of the reasons I really wanted to have your family for one thing, but I told Melvin, that's my man. I told Melvin, I said those twins gonna go all over the world. Though they live in Baltimore, their mindset is global.
It's totally different.
And I said in Baltimore just doesn't know what they're missing. And I feel the same for you and the males. I feel like if people don't get it, your mindset is global.
It is.
That's why we clicked the first time. I I mean, I don't meet women managers in music. I said, you're a girl like me. Oh my God. So who supports you all? Even you all have, you know, it's all of you in the family, but who supports you around with all of the kids that helps you with your family? Who's your support system? Are you octopus woman? Come on, tell the truth, shake with them.
Wow. So, honestly,
yeah, I want to know.
I had to say that, but I'm going to be truthful. We really don't get a lot of support in the DMV. It'll start out with the intentions of support,
right,
in this industry that we're in, but then unfortunately, motives change, and then there are factors of control. And even though we may have sincere intents ourselves, one thing we refuse to do is to be controlled.
Right.
So we know what our destiny is.
Right.
So it's been by the grace of God that we've been blessed with people outside of the city, our partners in Philly, Atlanta. You know, we do get calls. Now our manager, actually, our acting manager, she is in Maryland.
Oh yes,
Linda Townsend.
Southern Maryland, right?
Yes, yes, Linda Townsend. So she helps us in the LTM family as far as getting local gigs and so forth. But you know, we just motivate and uplift one another. Our theater family, I would say, and our acting community. The acting community is awesome in this area, whereas we do support one another. And everyone we've met, we've been able to consider family. But on the music side of it, wow, I can't really say, you know, people put price tags. You know, independent artists, they're not rich.
Right.
They're independent. They're not.
Yeah.
They don't have a label. We put out so much money, and it was the times when the people who are actually in the industry mentoring us now, like, they're not charging us these outlandish amounts of money. They really genuinely want to see us successful, and again, it's by the grace of God that we've been able to connect with them.
Right.
So, you know, we had to go through some things in order to grow through those things.
Right.
And to be where we are right now. And, you know, we only can see the top from here, so.
Right, right. I know you want to say something.
One thing, as a teaching artist, I teach a lot of young people who have no respect for time. And I don't think it's anything malicious. I just don't think that they think about time. And rarely do you find parents who are so schedule based. So can you give any advice to, one, parents, and two, to students or young people that may be watching this, in terms of how do you prepare? Like, I have a lot of students that are also into sports, so they'll know that they have a game and know that we have a show, and their parents will come pick them up early from rehearsal to take them to the game, or vice versa, because I talk to a lot of coaches. But how can you talk to parents, one, about not coming to pick your child up so early when they have things to do and they have a teacher and they are in programming? Can you speak to that parent that may not be thinking about that?
Definitely. Okay, so I'm a former coach. Before the acting and the music has begun to take off, I was a track coach. I was a master runner. My rankings are online. And I also helped to coach my sons to go independently and privately to go to Junior Olympics in USATF and also AAU. I look at acting as a sport. Okay? My kids affectionately call me Josephine Jackson. And I think you call me Josette.
I call you Joette.
Joette.
She's Joette Jackson.
Not that bad.
No, not really.
And I don't really think he was bad. So when I really look at the components, anything that's worth getting, you have to invest that time.
Yes.
It's very critical as a parent. Like, so how my journey began, Deanna was a teen entrepreneur. I came home to homeschool her. I left my 6-figure paying job to come home was a sacrifice.
Right.
So as parents, we have to sacrifice.
Yeah, that's it.
It was something that she wanted to do, you know, as a young person, and of course their dreams are going to change as they're maturing. The aspirations are going to change. But the thing about it is that as parents, it's up to us and it's our responsibility to provide those resources to them and to show and demonstrate commitment. When it comes to my children, I'm not a millionaire, so I can't do what these millionaire parents do for them. But I have a brain, and I've gone to school, and I have certain training, and I can do it for Lockheed Martin, I can do it for General Dynamics, my husband can do it for the government. Then I can implement those things within my household and build up 4 individual units. And I teach my kids, and I stress this day in and day out, prior preparation produces positive performances. If you're not prepared, I'm not going to send you out there. As a coach, if you didn't put in the time, you didn't put in the grit, because that's what it takes. It takes grit and determination. It takes a support system. If you, some parents don't know how to support.
Right.
You know,
that's true.
And some kids don't have that within their household, but they have that within their community. You know, and so I teach my kids, I may not always be there. You know, my husband may not always be there, but God will put people in your life who will be there for you to elevate you and advance you, and I'm a firm believer of that.
And now, so that spoke to a lot of the children, but then to the parents, can you give them any tips, either of you, in terms of, I've taught in after school programs and I've taught in one-on-one sessions, and parents think, I gotta do this next thing. So they're not really thinking about what their child wants to do. So they're scooping them out of school early, they're scooping them out after school programs early, the things that are there to support. Because there's no difference in the millionaire parent versus the parent that's on a shoestring budget, other than that parent knows I'm investing in my child right now. They specifically are doing that. They may have a couple extra dollars to be able to do so, or get somebody else, or just send an Uber to go back and forth. And that's the only difference, just the access. But the ability to be able to give your child those things and be respectful of the things that they want to do versus, I don't tell your teacher, you're going down. And that's normally what I hear a lot. And then the child doesn't really want to invest in the program because they know at any time their parents going to come pick them up.
So what I want to say is, it's 2 things I want to bring up. One is, parents today tend to want to be the children's friend.
Girl, let me give you my offering.
Okay. And so I do not, my children, they just know.
Right.
A child will not dictate to me what they will and won't do. We're not having that. I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend.
Right.
So that's the first. Another point I wanted to make out is that, again, the key word is sacrifice. If parents do not want to sacrifice, this is why.
Because I gotta get mine together.
No. Children do not ask to be brought here.
Right.
You made the choice to become a parent.
Right.
And so, with that being said, when you have your schedules and this is what they're signed up for. Like I said, my son's, I have one on choir, and he has all this acting. There's the time frame. It is what it is. I balance. What time do you get out? Every single time. It's the same when people leave for work in the morning. You allow your children, oh, I don't feel like going to school. Oh, you could say, if I'm getting up every single day to go to work, you're getting up and you're going to school. If you was to ask my sons, my youngest son, Dion, will tell you, I mean, mommy have sent us to school sick. Me not believing that they're sick until a nurse called me and tell me, and I'm dead serious, to say, oh my goodness, you have to come and pick this child up. That's when you'll go home and you'll stay home. I refuse to do that because you have to set an example for your children. Right. As many days I don't want to go to work, but I know I have to get up and go to work every day. So that's the problem. So until parents understand that part, you know, the kids are doing what you allow. They're resembling you. Oh no, I'm gonna put no. It's a dedication. If you chose to be in the after school program, you're gonna be in the after school program. Now, incidents happens. You know, I would have to come and get them early, orthodontist appointments, dental, physicals, whatever. Yes, they're coming in, but guess what? They're coming in late. They don't miss school. I'm sorry.
So how do you give them, and this is to all of you all, how do you teach your children how to say enough is enough, or no, or I can't do both of these things because they at the same time, or they how are you teaching them now how to set boundaries with their time? Yes.
So my husband and I, we practice, like you heard me say earlier, we're raising adults, not raising children. And so part of that is that we treat our children like adults. This is how you're going to operate when you become an adult, right? And they see firsthand what we go through. I'm not trying to hide things from them like our parents did,
right?
Because that didn't work.
We didn't do that.
You know,
either.
I'm a hands-on type person.
No.
Yes, no. Yeah.
They see the fight and the makeup.
Exactly.
Right.
So and yes,
and
so,
the makeup.
And the makeup, exactly. So the thing about it is that, like for the industry that we're in, if you commit to it, you better do it. People have invested millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, they do have understudies to replace you, but unless I have a fever, I see hives, you know, because I'm the on-site physician, the first one, okay? And if I have to get up and go out there and I have a headache or a migraine or my feet are swollen and I'm out here with you to let you know I don't feel well today, but I get to experience that headache afterwards. You know, I get to experience all that afterwards, but it pays off. And when they see their checks, because they do get paid. That's the misconception in the DMV. No, we don't do free all the time. No, and very rarely. The children are almost SAG, well, all of our children are SAG-AFTRA eligible. So right now we choose to do non-union work. I just had to throw that caveat out there because sometimes, you know, people think we're just doing skits.
I'll say that feeling is everywhere, and if you are new into a city, you get treated like you are professional. But I've met people around the world that feel like my city does not do this because they know you.
Right.
So they feel like they can do that, but that's everywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a DMV supporter, so I don't want my DMV to be giving all the lash because I know we do got some good professionals out here.
We do, and I'm not, you know, putting that across the board, but like you said, you know, unfortunately, we don't recognize our own until they're off and gone over in LA somewhere. I won't say any names, but there's some huge brands that have come out of the city, and you know, we didn't acknowledge until they ended up on the other side of the land.
They don't come back.
And that's why they don't come back, unfortunately. So we have to take care of our own. So, but yeah, as far as the parents are concerned, I think also, like she said, we're not friends, but we're friendly. Okay, I am friendly to my children. There are boundaries, and so you have to establish those boundaries in any relationship that you have, even when going on sets. You have to understand these are not your friends. These are your peers. These are professionals. And so when you teach your children the fundamentals of business, and I also think everyone doesn't understand that. We're so used to working for someone and slaving away. We don't stop and see the skills that we've established already and how we can take that and it can become a business or empire.
Right. But the other side of that coin, on my class the other day, I have a guy who's Hindu, and his parents do not support him. And his girlfriend ex, who's Muslim, quit him because he's Hindu. And he said, Professor Richburg, my parents don't support me. I said, because they're your ministry. Because if they did, you would not be that driven.
That's true.
And I tell kids, if your parents don't support you, they're the gas for your engine. Prove them wrong. Because I'm not my children's friend. They know. Get your friends. I got my friends. Get yours. I'm not your friend. I'm your mommy. Period. I can be friendly, but that's it. And so the parents that want their children to like you, they're not going to like you all the time when you do right by them. But they're going to continue to love you when they realize you did right. You sacrificed. That's why I wanted these women here. I wanted people to see the face of sacrifice real time. Because people look at me, I have to always say, I got 4 children. Because I know I don't look like that, but they almost killed me. Denise was there. Who was off camera. She saw me almost die a couple times, but I came back to life. So I know what it's really like, real time. And I wanted you all to hear because I'm proud of you.
Oh, we're proud of you too.
And I wanted you to be on the camera. Tell your family I'm proud of you because I know how hard it is. And people look at our smiles and they think it's easy.
Yes. You know what? I had a thought.
Go ahead, tell your thought, girl.
So, when we talk about parents, because I have, there have been parents that come to me all the time through Facebook, social media, even personal friends, and they'll ask me, "Can you help me get my child into acting or modeling?" So, like, right now, my goal is on my children, and that's my ministry right now. And I have to do that and pump the brakes because, you know, I can connect those other parents to the proper resources, and what they'll do is they'll go out here and mess up my good name and ruin, you know, the relationships that I have for my children and my people. So I cannot afford that because they may think, well, I'm not. They think that it's easy, and then they'll say things like, well, my child. I'm more so for academic and my child is more analytical and so forth. To be artistic, listen, it takes more analytical and more academic. I'm losing the word.
Academic prowess to be successful.
To be successful. Well, even in acting, you have to memorize scripts. You know how to read. Those are the fundamentals.
Right.
You have follow direction.
That's very,
you can tell he goes through that.
I don't think they get that.
Even in the music side,
I think that we just show up on stage.
And then voila. Exactly. And you have to be able to pour in those emotions and be relatable and, you know, conjure up, or you have to dig deep within yourself. And like I said, so sport, you know, you come in, my kids, they go against top hitters in this industry, you know, and although, I mean, these directors are seeing their face. I feel like I've done enough. You know, the rest is on them. I'm passing them the baton because I know they have what it takes to make it to the top. So
put them in the decision-making process.
Yes.
In terms of, I want this role, or I want to go audition for this.
Absolutely. And if you commit to it, you can't quit to it. That's how it goes.
And I understand that parent because I meet more of those parents than I meet these parents. And they feel like, well, I'm going on vacation. We're going on vacation right now.
No.
So we'll be back.
I haven't
had. Your role won't be there though.
Yes. Listen, I'm going on vacation when my daughter goes up and she gets her Grammy. I'm going on vacation when my children get their Oscars and Emmys. You know, I'm going to vacation when they're in a position to run their own careers, and I can come back and I can play with my grandchildren, and I can be a support, and I can see all these wonderful things, and I can see the legacy that we built together.
Right.
Those classes that you want to do, I just want you to start them sooner. I teach art, I teach theater, I teach movement, and it's not out there. They want their child to, and that's why we have so many mediocre artists in the world, because they go out there feeling like, I can do this. And then when you realize you don't read that well, you don't listen that well, you don't follow directions that well, and beyond having raw talent, you need those basic foundations to be able to do anything in the arts.
Right, and when I tell my children, there are millions of talented people out here. So a director sees all of these talented people every day, right?
Every day.
But you know what causes you to stand out the most? They may not have good work ethic.
Because they're watching you out in the lobby with other people. They're watching you on stage with others. That's why they screen test you with other people.
They watch your social media. They watch you from the moment you coming through that door. You know, and you know, you're always being watched. You are your brand. How you want people to see you and view you is how you must carry yourself. You know, if you want to be taken serious in this profession, you have to remain professional in the confines of your own home. You get to pull your wig off, kick your heels up, take the stocking off. You can be you know, in a way that no one else can see you. However, the moment you step out that door, it's okay. So, you know, and that's one thing I really would like to see as a mother of sons and black men. I would like to see more of that amongst our men, telling our young black men that, like you. And so I advocate that, and I admire you for that, and I thank you.
Well, I'll say to you, it's not the same. It's not the same, because a lot of these young men and women, they have mothers at home, or aunts or grandmothers. the men aren't there. So by the time you send them to school, they've already in their mind, like, he can't tell me nothing. So I feel like as men, we were set up years ago when they said we need more of you in the educational field. We need more men in these fields that are helping to bring that masculine balance. Because I can't say certain things that as teachers you all can. I can't say it. Because CPS will be called on me immediately. Versus you, that's motherly, that's nurturing. I'm aggressive, I'm rude, I'm disrespectful. And it's just, that's not, so what you are bringing to them is something that they're not getting outside. A lot of other children aren't getting that. They're not getting that balance. Even with having a mother that may be a single parent that's out there doing it, a lot of them aren't seeing that. They're seeing their mother lean on somebody or not just not be there because they have to go and work. So that balance is always up and down depending on what child you're talking to or what scenario you're presenting. I hear you, but I'm gonna play this for my class. And I'm gonna let them see, like, you have to have the intentions, because they don't believe Mr. Cowser because he don't know nothing. Not that I've been doing this for so long, but they don't understand the discipline.
Right.
It's born, Mr. Cowser, why we gotta read? Why we gotta do public speaking first? Because you don't know how to speak in front of people, and that's the art. You gotta know how to talk, have interpersonal skills, be able to relate and do things at the drop of a dime. And not only can you be good at it once, you got to keep doing it.
Yes.
And you got to deliver the same, if not better, every single time. And a lot of them aren't getting this. So these subjects for the day were very personal to me. You know, they were very, because my mother wasn't an artist, so she didn't know what to do to me other than to put me in the hands of somebody who did know what they were doing.
Okay.
But, you know, in terms of, so for you, Keisha, and in terms of you not necessarily being in the fields that your sons are in, how do you deal with trust in terms of, because this husband and wife duo, they're in the field. You know, Ms. Richburg, she understood what the business was in terms of her children, but for you not to be in those fields, how do you then put your trust out there?
So my trust is earned and it's not given. That's the first.
Right.
So I was never the parent just because the program was available just to send them off. I was with them.
Look at that face. That's why I brought him.
So again,
read that face. I love that. I love that face.
Until I felt, you know, it's like it's a feeling, it's a gut feeling that you have. You'll know if this person is. There you go. It's intuition.
Okay.
And so if my children are comfortable after a certain period of time, then if you've earned it, then I'll trust you with my children. But I can tell you, even with my daughter, even though she's an adult, my kids can probably count on one hand, I doubt if two, how many homes they've ever stayed a night over.
I did my kids 0. And at first they used to be mad at me. Now they thank me.
Yeah, and it's perfectly fine that your friends can come.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did.
Even when my daughter was younger, I mean, whether it was the Sweet 16 hotel parties, the 18th, and I have, honestly, there were parents I met after. Like my daughter would go to homecoming because she had a big cousin that was at Howard. Well, Bree was comfortable. She can go to Howard. But then her friends went with her. I had never met the parents. That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, people are just so free to let their children be with whom and wherever, you know. And no, you know, you have to get to parenting. I want to know where they are.
That's right.
Yes, I pay for that phone. Yes, if I want to look in that phone, I can look in that phone. You know, and I get with all the new features. Yes, what's the code? I don't need your thumbprint. Give me the number. Give me, you know.
Okay, so emergency.
Yeah.
And find my friends.
Yes.
So for you, you're in the industry. Theater is a lot different because you see the people that are working with your children versus it just being a bunch of imaginary people around. But how have you warned them in terms of prepared them? I don't want to say warned, because we're not expected for anything to go wrong,
but it can.
Have you warned them?
So my background and my husband's background are IT.
Okay.
So we weren't always in the field, and when I wanted to be in the field when I was younger, my parents didn't know how to get me in the field, and they told me that no, it wouldn't happen for me. But here I am now. I know my dad is happy, smiling down somewhere. And I know my mom is really happy as well. So you see me on set. You see me behind the cameras.
Look at those eyes.
Even with my 24-year-old.
Look at those eyes.
And these are facts. Even when we go into certain meetings, because she's a female.
Right.
And, you know, we believe in, I mean, it's a cruel world out there. So I still haven't given, like some people
Can I say this? When they were on set with me the first time, I didn't know it, but she kept saying, "You're so nurturing. You're so nurturing." Because I make sure Sonny is straight. I make sure you is straight. Everybody is straight. Are you? Because I got to be the mama.
Yes.
Oh, this
and that doesn't happen all the time.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen. And that doesn't happen all the time, you know.
And I didn't know that was strange.
Yes, it's very strange. When I show up,
I didn't know.
Yeah, so when we show up, I mean, like I'm a stage mom, so I'm showing up and I'm prepared. You know, I got clothes, I got wardrobe, I got hair supplies, I got makeup, just in case they don't have what
and we negotiated all the clothes ahead of time.
I send pictures over.
And she let me style the makeup.
Yes,
we work.
I do. Yes.
Yes.
And I'm very particular when it comes to certain things because we have certain allergies and so forth. I'll let the person know, and I'm not overbearing at all. I send over a list of allergies before, because sometimes they'll have food for us on set. I have peanut allergies. I have shellfish allergies amongst the children. So I'm just very organized like that, and I'm respected, and I respect everything that everyone does, because they've been doing this for years. As far as well, my son Elijah, so he's worked at Roundhouse and Signature Theater. He was Young Jelly in Jelly's Last Jam. When I was there, it was like a family. Protecting them, like I really didn't feel the need that I had to, but I was trained. So prior to putting the children out there in the industry, we took classes. We still take classes, and while people will contact you on Facebook and they think they go to a Disney pay $1,500, $3,000, you're famous. Nah, don't do that. I did that before. Lost my money. Had to write that off. But you have to invest time, and you take these classes. And so, no, I'm going to go with them to the restroom. If the restroom is in eyesight, if it's a male and my other son's not there, my husband can accompany them to set with me. Then I'm going to stand outside that restroom. Yes, I'm going to be your chaperone for the day, or wrangler. And and then even with my daughter, you know, we go to the restroom together. You know, I'm not that big. You know, she's not that big, but we're in numbers. You know.
But I tell you, when you ride with them, you ride safe. That's all I'm going to say on camera. I was safe, baby. That's all I want to say. Ask me later.
That you learn, and as an individual in the arts, you don't know these things, because we have adults going through these things that are being touched, that are being abused, and their boundaries are being crossed.
You have to. I teach the kids to be able to advocate for themselves. Like, so it's a story that I tell behind closed doors, and some people don't like me, and it's okay, because I'm an acquired taste. You know, I don't like everything that's out there in the store on the shelf. You don't like everything, so it's impossible. So we teach the children who's for you is for you, and what's for you is for you. It's not, okay? So there's been times that relationship, like people will treat my husband a certain way when they meet them, because it's a male-dominated industry, and it's okay. But I'm a big girl, so how they'll approach me is different from how they approach my husband. I'm about the business. He's about the business too, but his approach is more laid back, because I don't want to mix any type of signals when I'm dealing with a male perspective. And we could be friends, you know, or friendly, and I'm laid back once, you know, we get things established. But crossing boundaries is something I'm not going to tolerate. I know my right, and I teach the kids their rights, and I teach them to advocate for themselves. And I advocate for myself. I advocate for them. And Aaliyah, she's 7, so I have to advocate for her. It's you know, it's a no-brainer. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So before we can introduce the next topic, but I wanted to at least get them to give their information on how to, if somebody wants to book them or their children, or how does that work. So give out your information for us, how people can contact you. reach you?
Oh, so I don't do bookings right now. I'll just establish.
But you did.
But, as far as Deanna, if you want to book
I was going to
my artist, I forgot for a moment.
Okay, bring it back.
Yeah, let me get on the music side of it.
Yes.
So you can visit our daughter's website. It's www.deanna, D-E-A-N-N-A, stealth, STEALTH.com. You can find her on Facebook at Official Deanna Stealth. You can also find her on Instagram at Deanna Stealth or Twitter. She's been on BET a few times. She's done some major platforms as well. Me, I am on Facebook. My husband and I share a Facebook account, and no, there was no infidelity. We did it from day one because we share the same pictures and same experiences.
Right.
And we co-parent together. So it's Bruce, space N, and space Takia, Takhia.
And you were on my page, and I kept saying, I know she has a page, but I just see this joint page, and then I saw the picture. I thought, oh, that's the same person.
Okay. Did you want anybody to reach you, or you're just good?
I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't forget, our sponsor this month is the Impact Grit Fund. Actually, the Grit Fund has closed for this year, but you can definitely go to their website at Grit Fund, GRITFund.org, and learn about what their mission is and how you can be a part of it. They have a lot of upcoming events coming on, and you'll be hearing about the winners. So, don't worry about the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. And the phone lines are blowing up 1-855 Cheryl 1 because everybody wants to know, where's Harry?
Where's Harry?
Where is Harry? Phone lines are open to you. Remember, 1-855 Cheryl 1 open to you. We do not let calls go directly on the air. Somebody called pretending to be child support, going, where's Harry? And it wasn't funny to us.
We don't play that.
Because we hung up on people.
Okay,
cool. We thought it was real child support. So you want to get your little jokey joke.
Wow.
But also, you could email us at SherylUnderwoodRadio.com. And you got The World According to Cheryl, the podcast of Cheryl Underwood Radio. And I'm going to make an announcement, and we'll revisit this again when Harry comes back. Courtney Black, back with the facts.
Yes.
Is going to do Courtney Black's social media shout-outs.
Uh-oh.
Why Courtney Black?
Because we love our fans and our listeners.
And they love us.
They sure do.
And since you've been over social media, they've been responding to a lot of the things that we're talking about.
Exactly.
So you're going to do the shout outs. Vic Frost, she's going to say and read some of the things that they post on social media for us.
Okay, Courtney.
Would that be on the Cheryl Underwood Radio page?
Yes.
On Facebook?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's at Underwood Radio, Twitter, at Cheryl Underwood Radio,
That's
Facebook,
beautiful.
and Instagram. Because you're doing Instagram too, right?
I'm doing all of them.
You're doing Twitter too, huh?
Twitter too.
I retweet. Don't I retweet a lot?
Yeah, that's
You
good.
do.
Does that make the people excited
Sure
that I
does.
retweet? Okay.
Yeah, they know you listening and
That's
you're reading
right.
their responses.
Yep, big shout out to
Thanks,
Saturday Night
Vic.
Live. They did a sketch, and and in the sketch they shouted out Howard University.
Sure did.
And they shouted out KA side,
That
Cap
was funny.
outside.
Hey.
Wasn't that cool?
That was funny.
That was funny sketch.
It was the whitest white dude you could imagine.
Right.
Yes,
And
yeah.
all the black stuff. And he was a Kappa.
Yeah, that plays at Howard. What is his name?
Mitch?
McAfee, is it? John
Mulaney.
I think that's his name.
John
But it was funny because he could do all the electric slide every time he called.
He was definitely dancing like a white dude.
Yeah.
He was doing the moves.
He was subtle in it. He was subtle.
And he did all the Cupid Shuffle extra stuff.
Yes, everything they
remix.
called for. Yeah, the fan.
In between.
Yeah. But when they did that, I was really, really proud that they shouted out not just one of the 9 Black Greek letter organizations, but also a historically Black college university. Yeah. I thought that was just really, really good. I thought that was a really good, one of the best sketches.
Well thought out. Very funny.
Yeah, it had layers that it grew to. But he was cute, cha-cha sliding.
Oh, yeah.
For those who don't understand, we haven't explained it. Basically, it's a white guy dating a black woman, and she's not sure. She hasn't told her family yet that she's dating this white guy, and we find out he's pure white guy like Jim, but knows all these black things that you wouldn't expect.
Like Jim.
Like Jim. I was about to say, like Jim. She's dating white Jim Kelly.
That's right.
Okay.
He wasn't trying to sound like us. He wasn't acting like us. He knew all these steps.
There it is.
They
Jim
did a
Kelly.
version of the cha-cha slide.
Yes.
Dance moves that none of us have ever heard of, but he knew them.
Yes. So hey, check it out, and if we can repost it or give a link to it. I know I retweeted it on my Twitter at Cheryl Underwood. So we just wanted you to check it out and give a shout out to Saturday Night Live and their writers. I thought there was it's ingenious, inclusive, and very, very funny. We'll be right back for more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
It's the jump off. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood Show. Hot topics. We discussing anything. It's a go. We going live now. Got a favorite song? Call into the show. Is he ready? Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Cheryl Underwood Radio. Yeah. The Iceman coming. Big Frost, our super producer,
ice cold.
And where's Harry Sutherland?
Oh man!
Oh! He's at the county commissioner thing.
Yeah.
That's right. He's an official.
The official Courtney Black back with the facts.
You know that?
He's real commissioner.
Elected, truly elected county commissioner.
Yes.
Doing commissioner work.
That's what I'm talking about. Jim Kelly,
right?
Owner and proprietor of Sports Bar. But wait a minute, how did we not? Maybe we thought he was coming. Maybe not finished with the business.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Live with your host Nate Hauser. We're in the building with Natasha Richburg, and we have two lovely guests today. They are joining us. They are two moms on a mission. They have artists, children, all of that. And we're learning today. Ms. Richburg, if you could go through the topics once more and just give us kind of a framework of what we're doing today for the new hour that we're in, I'll greatly appreciate it.
So for today, we're talking about balancing family life and artistic development. In week 1, we talked about what it means to have artistic aspirations. Week 2, we talked about what is your life's purpose. And week 3, we talked about artist life. Today, we talked about how to use our calendar and scheduling to make sure we had our family balance. And we talked about effectively caring for ourselves. And we kind of touched on caring for the family. And we talked about how to balance the calendar, family care, and self-care. But one of the things I want to talk about right now, and I'm going to pull somebody in who's off camera, Deanna Mayo right now, we have to talk about boundaries. One of the things I found out as I teach students at UMBC, because I did not have this problem with my children, I need to say, they understood I was the mother and their daddy was the daddy. But a lot of these students at the university, sometimes they think I'm their friend, and I have to remind them they have to treat me like I'm their instructor, and they have to respect me in that regard, and they don't necessarily have to like me, but if they learn to respect me, they will learn to respect people in the workplace. Deanna, I wanted to ask you.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for coming and being off camera.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you because your voice is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Tell us, with regard to being a hip hop artist, you know, how do you teach people, without cussing them out, to respect boundaries?
Oh.
I mean, you know, the PG version.
So, starting out with that question, answering that question, it has been hard. Especially since I have been in the industry since the age of 13. So I have found my way with the help of my mom and my dad.
Okay.
Even now, sometimes it is very, very hard. And, you know, even with dealing with people in the industry, or, you know, you feel like just because you're building relationships, or you may feel like someone is personal with you or they're your friends, you have to find that balance, because at any given moment things can change.
Right.
So you can't get comfortable.
Right.
So for me, honestly, it's prayer, God, God, my parents, I'm always constantly asking them for advice, or even, my mom, woman to woman, how she would operate or how she's handled things in the workplace, because she's more experienced in things that I don't know about, and I'm here to learn, and I don't know everything. So with that being said, it's just it's one day at a time with that. You know
what, I need to say this because something came to mind as you're talking, because I've always had male artists, and boundaries with regard to, I don't have to worry about any woman, tackling him. But they slide them numbers in, man.
Okay.
And when they slide them in them, he slide them to me. And I rip them up and I throw them away. Because the boundaries are, we not there for this. We're here to work.
Yes.
And sometimes people, I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
But you have an older daughter too. And she's the cutest little button, just like this cute little button. They almost look like they could be sisters almost. How do you teach your oldest boundaries? Especially now that she's a grown woman.
So, believe it or not, boundaries begin when they're little.
I know.
People tend to want to set boundaries later in life. Your kids would know from day one. And I'm not talking preschool. I am talking when they're able to walk and they know and they can understand. No means no, And so that's also a problem. How can I say? I am a disciplinarian. My kids often joke to say when they have their kids, they're going to send their kids to me. Because, and
that
some
means they trust you.
Yeah, but it's, I watch it a lot. I'll give an example.
Okay.
Just being in the market and you see a child fall out on the floor.
I didn't play that.
And my children know that type of stuff. I give this look. And it always was just a look to my children. I didn't have to scream and howl. No, I gave a look. And my kids just never tested me. They just don't, because they know what the repercussions are if you test me. So even with my daughter being an adult, there are limits. Yes, she would try, some things, joke and play, but they know when I'm serious. She knows when I'm serious. So I don't care how old your children are. At the end of the day, I'm going to always be your mom.
Right.
That's it.
So Takia, Deanna's your daughter. And I know, even out when she's working as an artist, just not actress, artist, but you're a hitter and you see people trying to push up. Do you stand back and watch her pushing back, or do you smack them? I'm just joking.
Well, my approach is kind of different.
Okay.
Either my husband, I'll pull her away. Excuse me for a minute. Deanna, can I see you? I'm diplomatic. Because I can tell when she's uncomfortable.
Okay. You look for that look.
Energy, exactly. Sometimes there's a text message that people would very rarely see. They're gestures that we make within our camp.
Okay.
Signals to let one another know. Even with the children, we have certain signals when they feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
And internal. My husband, he's over, excuse me, y'all, takes over the conversation or something, and then, I just laugh. I say, he's so cute. Yes, and so, and the way he does it is so cute. Like with me, I don't know, I just interrupt nicely and, excuse me for a second, I need her over here, or you said you had to go to the restroom, or then we also have our internal gestures.
Oh, okay. Because I understand now, especially with the Me Too movement, some people have ill intentions and some people learn to be huggy-feely. And I've had people who, and especially Italian families, that just were huggy. Didn't think anything about it, but in this new era, they have to, respect personal
boundaries.
Boundaries and everything. And then on the music side, it can be grimy sometimes.
It can be. It's
can
because
be.
and like that's why we phrase the term co-managers. Like my husband, because sometimes people may flirt with me or say like, if my husband's not there, I have to make it very clear I'm a married woman. I'm to be respected. I'm not only a married woman, but I'm a professional. I'm here on business first and foremost.
Yeah.
I mean, you really don't need, it's a bonus that you know that I'm married, but I'm here as a representation of an artist. And like, as you know, there are not too many women that are in this industry. And so those of us who are, we have to present a persona that's like hard or something that we're not, externally, because we have to demand our respect.
Right.
And oftentimes we're disregarded just for the simple fact that we are females.
Right.
They feel like we're too emotional.
Right.
They
That's
feel
true.
like you're
That's
or you're
true.
too pretty, or they want to kick it with the guys. They want to be macho, bravado. But that's okay. That's what my husband's there for. He can meet some new, colleagues along the way.
Right. And so, do you find in your acting background that you have to do boundaries with people who try, especially when you directed that play, that people try to get in your space because they hope they are the new backup, or what is the when somebody's absent and the other person takes their place?
Boundaries for me has been learning how to say no.
Oh,
because
okay.
you are considered a starving artist, and I had to make that perfectly clear. I always had a regular 9 to 5, so I don't need this, and I can always find something else. So my boundaries had to be set with teachers. And that's why I asked that about your students in terms of teaching them their schedule, because I'll be like, look, you need to tell your mother, that you have this class, but I don't understand what's going on at home. So I've had to learn how to set boundaries with my time, with my schedule. I'm not going to be here till 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. I know that's your thing, but I've already been here since 2 o'clock. There's no scale being paid here. There's no overtime being paid here. So I need you to be good with your time. Or directors that will straggle in and then want you to do all the work production week. I put in the work at rehearsal.
Absolutely.
This is my time now. I need my space. Or people that don't understand learning curves or how my learning style is. I'm good by myself. I can't be the laughing, joking person. So I'm good. I'm not a mean person. I'm not difficult. But I'm going to sit over here in the corner. I'm not going to take a role. I'm not going to do anything that messes up my integrity just for a role. I'm just not going to do it. I'll direct myself in something if it has to be. But just learning how to set boundaries has been more so with industry people in terms of how do I say no. I was a student actor, so no was never a thing. You got to do everything that's put in front of you. But as long as I'm paying Sally Mae, this my shit. I'm riding this. So you are here as a support staff, even as a professor, and even as a teacher now. I'm learning I'm more support staff. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. I can't make you comfortable. I can't give you talent. I can only guide you. And that's based off my teaching style is based off of when I had to learn how to say no. So that's my boundaries has just been learning how to say no.
Wow. Yes, and just to piggyback off that, two things. I have 2 things I wanted to say. I'll start with the saying no. To piggyback off that, like, we get scripts beforehand, so you already know what's expected from you from a director before you go in and you audition, right?
Yeah.
So if I go in there and like ahead of time, like my husband and I have a thing. I'm a mother first, so I'm not, I don't discriminate against anyone, their choices, lifestyle, how they were born, anything. I respect you, but I just ask that you respect me too. One thing I don't want to do I don't want to film with another woman naked and in a way that I would caress my husband, and that's my choice. Right. So now if you hire me on to be a friend, or okay, we can hold hands probably. I don't know if we can hold hands, but I want my children to see me as their mother and not lose that integrity. And sometimes, it's not often, but early on in our careers, depending on I was probably experience level of someone, we get on set And you know, when you first start out, you'll just take anything, or you just like, you get on set and things change. Well, no, that's the purpose of you sending me my contracts beforehand, so I can see and I can choose what I want to do or not. And when I get on set and you say, okay, well, I want to see you do this, and I want to see you kiss this woman or something, no.
So I do a workshop on consent, specifically in the arts, and that is something that, and that whole workshop came because I was in a predicament like that.
I'm sure you.
And you do not, because in theater, there's not normally a contract unless you're on off Broadway and above level.
Really?
They're not normally contracts. I audition, you accept me, we start rehearsals. But difficult Nate, that's the Nate that I've been called the last couple of years, I want to know what this is. I need to know. Well, we can always pick somebody else, okay, but I just need to know what this is. Because whether I'm doing it for free or I have negotiated some type of agreement with you, whatever that is, I still have my self-respect, and there's still lines that I don't want to cross, and there needs to be an explanation.
Absolutely.
And it goes into, so if we do have a kiss and saying, I don't mind doing things, I've been naked on stage, so I don't have no children, it's just me. You know, I won't invite my mother or my parents.
Exactly.
But that's just the type of actor that I am. I don't have a lot of boundaries. I have certain ones. And it's still a whole conversation about what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
You know, and a lot of times when you, specifically when you have children, you're so eager for them to succeed that you'll let something go by. And then when it gets to a point where, like, I'm not doing that, it's too late to say no.
Right. So we do dramaturgies with the children, prepare them for the roles that they're considering if they want to do it. And I also go on YouTube. I let them look up the roles of other productions that have already been done, or see other children who played that role. We just do a little background. Like Elijah fell in love with Jelly's Last Jam when he was in Carolina Change. He saw that online too, and he fell in love with that. And and then Matthew Gardner, the staff, everyone that we work with, some of the people we were familiar with from Jelly's, but it's like a family, like, you know. As far as, I also wanted to talk to you about timing and schedules. So I put my kids on schedules inside the home. This is how they know about schedules. So the schedule is like, I don't cook every night. I'm not your typical homeschool housewife, homeschooling mama. No, I'm not that. So everyone has an assigned date. There's 6 of us. Aaliyah doesn't cook, but she does assist. And certain people have dishes on certain nights too. Also, when you go into the bathroom, you have 20 minutes to do what you have to do. No one will empty out the hot water unit. So, because mama needs to take her bath with her Epsom salt and her bubbles, okay?
Right, that's
And you know, so it's 6 of us. So we must all be courteous. And the Lion King and the Queen Bee, they have to be respected first, and then everyone else that's in the household, they're our guests, they're extended guests. And so these are the rules of the household. So that's how they know how to be time. To respect time. Also, when you get on set, some auditions, they may give you a script, or you may go to class, and you have 10 minutes to learn this, or 15 minutes to learn this. You better get committed. You know, unlike you know, other things. Deanna, for instance, we go into the studio, she comes in prepared. Deanna will tell you, early on in her career when she decided to do music, and even though this music thing caught me by shock, right? But I will tell you, when I told her she's committed, she said she wanted to do it, I told her, you're going to do it. I'm going to make sure you do it. You're going to give it all that you have. She got on the stage one time, what I do? Pull the plug. You will not embarrass me. You will not embarrass yourself. You will not embarrass me. That's why every time those lights go on, that mic is set up, she's going to give you a show. I don't care if the DJ messes up. You keep going. Right. Right.
And I think that's really necessary, specifically on the child's level, because you're building a foundation for them. And you're setting them up for failure if you're not preparing them or putting them in places where they're getting prepared. I've seen many children lose everything that they've been trying to work towards because they had just came in as these divas. You know, I put in the work. So I can be difficult now and say, I don't want to do that, but I'm comfortable with doing this. Can we meet in the middle? And that's what a director is. A director isn't a puppet master. A director is more of a clay master. And he helps to guide you through what you already are bringing to them. And you have to develop. And that is the novice thing that I say are in cities like this. Because we have people who just say, I want to do this. And then they get the money and they do it. But they have no frame of reference on how to be professional. And your child has to come in there prepared and know what they want and know what you're willing to allow them to do.
Yes.
And a lot of children aren't ready like that.
Yes. Well, my children have taken classes, and also I reinforce the classes. I do my own classes. You know, there's no gum. We don't. You do that on your own time. There's no. there's no candy. You get that on your own time. You go and you empty your bladder before we go in there, because we're here. This is business. Time is money. Money is time. My 7-year-old, I will give her a script right now in front of you. She's going to look at that. She's going to read it. I read it, of course, but she'll read it to see if this is something she wants to do. She'll look at the backstory. And she reads it, and some people say at 7 she's reading. Yes, she's reading like that, and she's comprehending because she is analytical, and it does require a certain level of academics to be able to understand and process it
before they can do it.
Can I say this right there? Your sons are very artistic. They can draw like I've never seen a kid draw. My world is too small. What are you? I mean, are they? Is that in their plans anywhere? I'm never. They can draw.
So because
that's what you mean.
It's a lot of, like I said, they have a lot that's going on.
Right.
The drawing piece came about with Dion just out of nowhere, and so.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's what he just loved to do, and then it went to. He wanted to study, actually go into the studies of equine studies. And so that came out of nowhere, but it's something about him. He'll become fixated on something, and he just goes with it. So I'm just there to support. So although it's not, acting or music, whatever it is they want to do, I go with the flow. If this is what you really, if that's what they want to do. Thank you. And with Keon, he wants to go into automotive engineering. So not working under the hood, he wants to design the car.
Right.
So his corporate internship is currently with Whiting Turner, and that's what they're helping to kind of get that, have that segue for him to, if that's what he chooses to do later. So,
young people are really fickle, and I was that person, and my mother did not know what to do with me because I played the trumpet, I was on all the sports teams, I was acting, and there was not enough hours in the day to do all that. But I would say for them, make them complete a level. Before they say, you know what, I want to do this over here, make them complete a level. Because at least they'll have that skill set to draw from at some other point versus, oh man, I wish I'd have stuck to those computer lessons or those piano lessons. Make them complete a level or at least a semester while they're still in school of it before they let it go. That's my only advice that I give to parents. Don't pull them because they don't feel like it. Because that'll become their excuse for everything. And they'll never master.
I did that too, because when my children were coming up, I had somebody come in once a month. All 4 learned piano. And one did clarinet, one did flute, one did guitar, one did the drums. The guitar and drums are still going. Everything else fell wayside. But I made them stick to it. Mama paying this money, you will at least learn the notes, okay? And if it stick, it stick. If it don't, it doesn't. And I was just hearing you talking about being analytic, and I was like, I'm thinking about some of those pictures I saw.
It requires that.
It may not become a goal for them, but it may be a means to get to the goal.
Right.
It can often give them the money to be able to get to where they want to go. Or just become a hobby or something they can appreciate and give to their children, their children, or somebody else.
Or mentor, mentor people in the community.
Right. Because like right now, a lot of times I used to think whatever my kids wanted, that's what they wanted. But like you said, they didn't know what they wanted. They still kind of figuring it out along the way.
I just thought Shawnee thing. I saw this man playing trumpet on. Actually, I was watching the Cosby Show, and there was an episode where the man came on there was teaching Rudy how to play, and I wanted to be able to make my jaws stretch like that. And I said, I want to play the trumpet, and it was just. It could be just that simple, or they could have learned what the terminology was and say, oh, that sounds cool. And it may be cool, and it may be their lifelong thing, but they have to at least try it for a certain amount of time. My mother would at least make me pay. She said, if I'm going to go to this store and spend all this money on this trumpet, you go play this for this year.
Yes.
And she would not accept anything else. Have I ever picked up a trumpet again? No, I have not. But I know how to play one if I ever needed to on stage now. But you don't ever know when you're going to need it. So a lot of things I wish I would have stuck to. I have a basis for it, so I make it like refresh. But I see a lot of children, I don't feel like doing that. And you just spend all your money on dance shoes and trumpets and instruments and lessons, and they're not even doing it anymore.
So Deanna, tell us, have your stuff switched over the years from the baking to the, or you kind of steady? Which one are you?
It switched a couple of times. It did? It did. But
what was his name?
No. Oh no. Actually, it wasn't until I became 18, 19 era where I actually got involved in dating. I was more focused on being an entrepreneur. So, thank you. So I played the piano at one point, and also played the flute. Now, my mom made me stick it out, and I would say that the only reason why I decided to stop playing the piano was because I was more so focused on trying to do my company and music, because that came at a time where I was actually a teen entrepreneur running a company, and then I was like, oh, I think I want to do music now. And then it came to a point where I had to make a decision where the offer was on the table. Do you want this $1 million contract for your cookies to be in the store, or do you want music? And that was very hard too, because my parents were just like, why did you pass that up? But I couldn't at that point in time, with everything that I was going through, me having my company, I didn't feel that a lot of people respected it. I felt like people took it as a hobby. Okay. So it became a point where I was, myself as well as my parents were putting more into it without receiving a profit. Oh, I see. So at that point in time, I was burnt out. Right. So I decided, let me just start fresh and do music. Yeah. But
can I say that? I'm glad you talked about that. Because how do you all keep your mental health? and let me say, in business meetings at the executive level in the federal government information technology, in my books, while I'm in high level meetings, I would write, Jesus, keep me near the cross. Because I would be so tight sometimes, I could imagine myself crawling across the table and choking somebody out. So I wasn't taking care of my mental health. So I wasn't taking care of my mental health. And when it got to the point that after I've been in the government like 31 years, I was like, should I stay? And I was like, go. Go. And I was like, it's the best thing I've ever done, because I'm able to chill and I'm the entrepreneur that I want to be. And even though I worked longer than I ever did my whole life, it's what I want to do. Girl, when you get your wings, you going to, it's not just soar. It's fly. You going to soar.
But people have to understand the sacrifice. Yes. Sometimes the sacrifice isn't jumping off the cliff.
That's true.
Right there and waiting. Waiting. Time to jump off the cliff. Right. And in terms of mental health, it could be anything, any hobby. I would say Mariah makes more money than Whitney. Go learn that piano, learn music, because Whitney died almost broke compared to how much money she made in her life, because she never wrote a dime, wrote a note.
She writes too. Deanna, tell them you write. Tell them you write. Tell them you play the guitar too.
Doing things outside of what your grind is.
Yes.
Finding that time. You may be overwhelmed, but you're going to be really overwhelmed if you look back and you haven't put anything into your like relaxation pile.
Right.
Like do things that make you comfortable. Even if it's clicking the channel.
Right.
Take that moment. Like she say, I need more than an hour.
Oh, you do?
I need more than an hour. To be honest with you, I need more than an hour. But I found things that could make me money, that relaxes me, that doesn't take up my time, or like jewelry.
Oh yeah.
I do that, but it takes up time. It can feed me, so I'm not doing this for no reason, but I can put into it what I want, and I'll get out of it what I put into it. So just doing little small things.
Right. And I do believe that, because one of the things, I was always doing UMBC teaching, and I love to teach. And being around young people, it helps you stay young. But the one thing I like about music, I like going to the gigs, man.
Me too.
We got a gig in New York tomorrow night, Sunny Dubois at the Delancey. We got a single coming out soon. I like that. It's very relaxing. And you've been to our gigs, so you know. And it's so much fun, but it's work. I get on the train, people say, Miss, where are you going? I said, to work. Where to where? New York? Well, where at? We have a show. Well, what do you do? I manage. I only answer their questions that they ask.
But how many times did you do that when you was back, back then?
Oh, I did.
Because it's nothing to talk about.
Man.
There's no inspiration in it. If your work does not do that for you, you're doing the wrong thing.
Right.
And normally the people that you're working, your clients, you're doing them a disjustice.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I see a lot of teachers in the wrong profession. Medical people in the wrong profession.
Yes.
A lot of financial people in the wrong profession. Because it doesn't help you. You're just making a paycheck at this point.
Right.
And it's not going to help you over time.
Exactly.
Right. The other thing that I really love to do, I love to do life coaching. I love to do that. When people bring me their jumbled up life, just bring me the jumble, because I'm going to help straighten it out. And what you think is a problem, we're going to start with the schedule and we're going to make it better. I really enjoy doing that.
And you're great at it.
Thank you.
She's great at it. Yes.
I mean, all the trials and tribulations of my pain, I share with everybody.
Yes.
I mean, because I didn't have 4 children and a husband for nothing. I want to help everybody because nobody really helped me. I made a lot of dumb mistakes. So I tell people about all my dumb mistakes that I just didn't know because I don't want other people to make them.
So we're coming to the end of the show. We probably got like 10 more minutes left.
Okay.
So if y'all could give us, if you can summate this show and then ask them whatever like pointed questions that you have for all of them.
Okay.
Kind of wrap it up.
Okay. The purpose of this show is really understanding how to balance your life when you have a talented family. And I brought women that do it because I know it's hard and they're going to tell you the truth, but they're going to let you know it's possible. Tell me your hardest possible success. A thing that was hard, but you were successful at it.
A thing that was hard, but we were successful at it.
People didn't think it was going to happen, girl.
I can't tell that secret right now.
Oh, don't tell that secret.
That's a good secret. That's a good one. That's another show.
Something you can say out loud to everybody.
Say out loud. Okay, but it's
okay.
When we finally dropped Deanna's first album.
Okay.
And so she had written it like 3 years prior, and I kept saying it was ready to drop. It was ready to drop, but unfortunately, we, instead of following our intuition, we went with someone, the advice of someone, and by the time we did drop it, which was a year or two ago, it helped our brand. It gave us so many wonderful connections, and then it created a great foundation for what's to come.
And let's just say an underground buzz. Yes, that's the code.
Underground
buzz. We'll tell y'all later. Okay, tell us one.
I mean, I think I've said it already. I think the school, just finishing my master's degree.
I was so proud of you.
Thank you.
I hollered. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think that was the toughest challenge for me. I really didn't think. Honestly, I really didn't think I was going to finish with the last master's, the MBA certification. I actually just went that route simply because the GMAT was like probably the toughest test I have to take in my life. And you know, I'm too old. I'm not retaking this test. I'm not going to keep paying money for it. So I just went, you know, a different direction. And working for a nonprofit for so long, I figured nonprofit management was best. And so that's when I finished that. So balancing between 2 grad schools, between Towson and UB, and then finishing at UB probably was the toughest when I'm still was trying to balance in the kids. So
wow.
Yeah.
For me, one of the toughest things was coming into the music business, not knowing anything, managing Sonny Dumarce and watching him get ready to go to the next level. And soon everybody's going to know who he is. And we have a show Sunday. And very hard. People think it's easy. Extraordinarily hard. And then my friend, who's not on camera, Miss Denise, she's been supporting me. And she doesn't know that in this business, the higher you go, the less people hang with you. Everybody knows me, but not many people stick to me. So Homegirl's been sticking in there. Oh, Deanna, off the camera. So tell us one of your happiest accomplishments thus far.
Thus far, I would have to say being where I am right now. It's been a lot of hard work getting here, and it's definitely, you know, inspired me to focus on other things and just enhance my abilities when it comes to being creative in this industry. So it's a blessing, and I appreciate my parents also as managers sticking in for as long as they have.
Very good. And plus, you killed that Rob's party, the best party in the world.
You. Yes,
it was. I told Nate he got to go next year. We had so much fun. That was the best birthday party industry-wise. It was not boring. It was fun. Oh, I'm sorry, Nate. I'm sorry. You got something?
I would say my last question would be to you. What advice would you give to your 17-year-old self? It's only the last question that I ask everybody, and it's not to prevent anything from happening, but to kind of soften the blow, give some tools and resources for that get up. So what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
Oh, my 17-year-old self was not right. she was spicy, popular, but she was stubborn. And I would say to the 17-year-old Takia that despite your circumstances, you are capable. I would say to you, to myself, that you're not stubborn, you're driven. I would affirm her and tell her that she's beautiful. I would tell her that she's amazing, and that to reach for the limits, and don't allow anyone to tell you that you're not great, and stand in your greatness. I would tell her don't allow her circumstances to dictate the outcome of her success, and that she is far more capable of what she sees around her, and look to where you want to be, not to where you are, and continue to have tunnel vision. Stay driven.
I guess for my 17-year-old self, I had a lot going on at 17, but for the most part, I would say just keep pushing. Push hard. A lot of students do not look at, they take things for granted. A B is just mediocre. Actually, they don't even push for B's anymore. It's like a C, if that. But I think if in fact I had done a little bit more in school, because actually I was the first Merville sports reporter in the 90s. And I think at some point that probably would have been my path if I had stuck to it. So I just wish I didn't stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. My 17-year-old self, she was quiet. I would tell her to talk more, let people see her, but she was invisible. You know, anybody who met me when I was young, they said I didn't talk. So I would say speak up. That's why I'm so mouthy now.
But this has been another edition. Thank you, Miss Richburg. Thank you, Mr. Kia. I said it right?
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Keisha. Thank you. What's your name again, young lady?
Deanna still.
Deanna. Thank you all for coming on. And thank you.
Denise.
I don't know if she was
invisible Denise.
You are very visible, Denise. But this is an awesome show. We have 2 more weeks to go.
Yes.
I'm going to try to get her to come back at some point. I don't know how well that's
you can try. We'll see.
I'm going to have to come at another angle because I got her on a sneak tip this time. I'm going to surprise her again when I go to the next level. But she plays hard to get, but she's a big teddy bear. But I didn't mean to put you out there like that.
You keep doing it every week. Every week you put me out there.
Not to be the whiz.
I'm a secret squirrel. To stay with the program.
Not a secret anymore. But again, this has been the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Thank you all for coming on. We have 2 sponsors. One being the Grit Fund, unfortunately, is closed, so you can't send your proposals in. And then for the next couple of weeks, they'll be actually choosing their winners for the Grit Fund. They get up to $7,000 to do a creative endeavor with a collaborative team. Also, the Cam Sessions Jazz Series at the Peel Center. It's the last Saturday of every month. It'll actually be the 23rd of this month. Definitely come out. We'll be outside this month. So it's like cookout style. He's a young guy, phenomenal jazz musician, and he's working on becoming more of a professional young man. So I definitely tag him in this show every single Friday. So I definitely want him to hear that. Any young people that are looking for opportunities this summer, if you want to learn the media industry, we'll have a media camp, a mini media camp here at Be Exposed Radio, giving you kind of the behind the scenes, the hard work, the dedication that it goes into being media, whether it's host, engineer, director, general manager of a station. So definitely send me that information, the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. If they're interested, send me. I want to see first report cards for the year.
Yes.
And I actually want to, if they want to go through the Youth Works program, we can do that as well, so they can actually make some money and it's not just an internship for them. And lastly, we're actually doing another consent workshop. The dates will be posted this Saturday, actually. We're securing the venue, and the workshop is on consent. If in the last couple we've had people that have been molested come, we've had all types of people that come out to this, but it is geared towards the industry of the arts. And then if you're an entrepreneur and you're in a workplace environment and you need some tips, definitely come on out. If you're a survivor, definitely come on out. We've had people across the gamut. What we don't need are people who are looking to attack. And that's whether you've been molested or not. We don't want to promote that. We are about building solutions for individuals. So come on out to that. And I'll be actually posting that this Saturday, so look out for that. And again, the Artist Exchange comes on every Monday and Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We got 2 more weeks of this entrepreneurship symposium workshop style beating, if you will. So come on. So this will be posted, so you can go to Facebook, you go to BeExposedRadio.com, listen on demand. And tonight's show, the next show coming up is actually It Is What It Is radio show. Thank you, ladies, again for coming out. Hopefully y'all can come back.
Yes.
I'd love to hear more and meet the fellas. So bring them by, and the young ladies. Bring them by, and we'll be talking more with Miss Richburg next Friday. Can you give us a real quick of what's happening?
Yes, next week we're going to talk about valuing your team with Keisha Woods and Tressa Dorsey, and then the last part is getting paid. How you can stop doing it for FREE. It's time to get paid.
So you gotta listen.
Coins.
Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com.
More show on Underworld Radio.
Thank you, super producer. Man, we having such a great conversation. Argument went all the way through the break between Kyle and Courtney talking about the Jada Pinkett Red Table Talk interview